Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026, and that means it is time for some new releases. I've got three of the best new heavy music releases I could come up with for this week here, as well as nine new announcements or singles you can check out after that. We're going to start with Danish heavy metal band Turbo's Tribunal. This is a musician who's been around for a while. It's a solo project. It's a traditional heavy metal uh, type of thing inspired by epic and classic heavy metal, veers into power metal sometimes. It's a great record and well worth your time. I just listened to it today. I was not sent this one for review, but it was a pretty immediate like on my part. Otherwise, I've reviewed the other two selections here already in print. That is Death Razor's Forged in Hatred, a kind of a brutal thrash metal record, an aggressive thrash metal record that comes after a long period of time in between albums. And last is a long-standing death metal band from Germany, not very well known, Caskets. In the Long Run, We Are All Dead is probably their best album to date. So this week there were a bunch of great announcements, a lot of great records on the way, some that I've heard, some that I've just previewed, and most of these are pretty quality. We're starting out with one of the bigger announcements, I think, for the week from Irish black death metal band COSCRADH, however you'd pronounce their name. I appreciated their debut. I think it was on Invictus. It's a style of black and death metal that you'd appreciate if you're a fan of Black Curse or Titan Blood. And Carving the Causeway to the Otherworld is their second full-length album. It's coming out on 20 Bucks Spin in late February. And let's check out a clip here, and then I'll talk about why this is so interesting. So what I'm hoping is that there's going to be more elucidation of the theme of this band and a little bit more, talk about what they're all about, because there's nothing but interesting writing in this press release. They describe it as a communion of druidic science and blood, ritual aggression, and linguistic resurrection. And I think that's a lot of really interesting ideas at once. So this song kind of reinforced a lot of the interesting atmospheric qualities of their debut and extends it in an interesting direction. I think if you're a fan of a band like Malthusian, you'd appreciate where this sound has gone for this group as well. So check that out if you will. I think it's one to look forward to. So the second big announcement today is actually one of the better Norwegian bands that I've discovered over the last 5 or 6 years, is MISOTHEIST's latest album, Depent. This is another late February release, and this is the fourth album from the band. Couldn't be more excited for this one. I think the last one wasn't as good as the one before it, but they've been quality throughout. It's a very consistent band with their own approach to both atmospheric and aggressive black metal of a certain type. You'll know it when you hear it. Check it out on the clip. So next up, we have the announcement for the fifth studio album from Polish heavy psychedelic rock band WEEDPECKER. V is the title, and let's do this, and I'll explain why I liked this, I guess. So I don't know how obvious it will be from a clip, but this record sounds a lot like Elder's Omens, a record that came out several years ago that blends kind of progressive and post rock and these other ideas into psychedelic rock that's pretty involved and tuneful. It's kind of what this band is doing on this record. They've kind of done it for a long time as well. So that's their sound, and it's worth checking out if you like that sort of thing. I'm not sure I'll review it, but I've enjoyed listening to it so far. Next up, we have one of the more interesting announcements for February so far. In mid-month, Voidhanger Records will release From the Waters of Death, which is essentially a musical retelling of the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest epic poems that has survived history. And so this isn't a collaborative album, as far as I know. I think this is a split album between 4 groups who are telling this same story in their own acts, which includes Midnight Odyssey, Swords of Dis, Oros Cow, and Serpent Ascending. What we get here isn't really a clip of any one song. It's an excerpt from, I think, all of them. So you probably want to go and actually listen to the full thing on the YouTube page to get an idea of what this sounds like and what everyone is bringing to the table here. It's not quite all over the place, but it is definitely a feat here, and one of the more I think compelling acts to release in February. All right, and this one is not a new release necessarily. It's a re-release, an issue of an old album from 1997. This was the band Starseed, a German death metal band heavily influenced by Nocturnus. I think once you check out this clip, maybe you'll hear bits of like a Crystal Age kind of sound, who are also influenced by Nocturnus, but brought in some of the emerging black death metal of the time in Sweden. I feel like this record kind of reflects that sound directly. Anyway, it's getting a CD release from Charnel Sanctum. Check it out and buy it if you're a fan of sci-fi death metal of this style. I liked it quite a bit. I think it's worth hearing. I think it's free on Bandcamp if you want to check it out otherwise. On March 13th, FDA Records will release the fourth full-length album from Swedish death metal band Gluttony. And, this is our fourth record. We know what to expect here. It's kind of pure Swedish death metal. There's not much else to really say about it. I'm a big fan of this label and anything they release, and I think this is worth checking out. I haven't been a fan of every one of their records, but so far I'm interested in what this one is all about. Australian psychedelic doom sludge metal band Rocky's Pride and Joy have made some changes in their lineup, and I think they've added a guitarist in the meantime, and it's changed their sound in a bit. They're giving us a preview with Pull on My Chains, a song which they've described as a universally defiant statement to anything or anyone that tries to hold you back. Let's check it out, and I'll talk a little bit about what I think here. I think this is an interesting shift for the band. It's not that drastic. I reviewed and appreciated their first record, which I think was on Electric Valley Records back in the day. And this sounds something along those lines, a little heavier, kind of sludgier. They're obviously going for something a little bit more aggressive in its imagery, and I like that change. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to the album that it seems to be prompting. It seems like they're leading up to a new record here pretty soon, and I'm interested to hear what it's all about. London-based death metal band Mutagenic Host have announced a 2-track single that they've released digitally today, as well as on, I think, cassette and CD, depending who you buy it from. And this is an extension of their debut album, which you'll remember from January of last year. Pretty good album. It's kind of got this hardcore meets death metal sound, but they lean into death metal pretty well on the Diseased Machine. Same is true here. This is they're calling this an epilogue to that album, and I think it's worth checking out. We'll cut to one of the songs here and see what you think. Saku and Oho Records have announced the vinyl release of Funelore's debut EP, the Dissolution of Consciousness. You can listen to the whole thing on Bandcamp in a couple different places already. This is kind of the announcement for the vinyl release. This is a death doom metal band, kind of a funeral doom metal influenced sound. I thought it was great. I really liked the way this band approached this sound. There's a seriousness to the tone of this record that I felt like was worth recommending. And I'm not sure if I'll review it in March, but I just wanted to note that I enjoyed this quite a bit. Worth checking out. And that's all I really have to say about it. appreciate you sitting down and listening to whatever I had to say. So hopefully some of these are interesting. Follow on YouTube if you'd like. Follow on Instagram to keep in touch with all the stuff I'm reviewing on a daily basis. If you like something that you hear, don't tell me about it. Tell the bands. Tell them that you're a fan. Go on, social media and bug them, because that kind of engagement really helps an artist get noticed, as well as just to know, feedback from fans, whether they suck or not. So tell them what you think.